about Priyanka, it's really a pleasure and a privilege to have you, Priyanka, here. I know you have vast experience and personal and professional. So we are really very delighted to have you here as a teen community. And we hope you'll come again and again because this topic is so relevant for all of us as parents, as educators, as grandparents. So I won't take much time. I'll hand over to Priyanka. And I know it's going to be a beautiful session. And please keep your questions to the end because Priyanka will be there to answer them. So looking forward to your session as much as everybody else is. And welcome, Priyanka.
Thank you so much to Hema, Dr. Shamsha, and everybody who's here. It's a pleasure to be here with everybody on a Sunday morning and speak about something which is very close to my heart. I'm really excited to read your book, Hema. Looking forward to it. And you and Dr. Shamsha and the whole team, you're doing amazing work for the teen community and for parents. So welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Priyanka Tibrewala. I would love to see some of your lovely faces. If we can have some of the cameras on, it'll be great. It's a short, crisp session, but try to take in as much as possible. I've done it in a simple language, which is relatable to each and every parent out here, like myself. And we'll have time at the end for question and answer. So I'm sharing my screen, and I hope everyone can see. Just give me a minute. Okay, so is this visible to everybody? Yes? Great.
Yes,
So, okay, so let us begin. Today's topic is set up your kids for the extraordinary via the power of family rituals. So interesting, right? When we're talking about setting up our kids for an extraordinary future, for a successful life, how can family rituals really do that? And that's what we're going to discover today. Because each of us as parents are striving for only one thing, to help our children gain those skills, those characteristics, that kind of attributes that they can lead great lives, they can lead successful lives. So that's what's going to make us as parents feel satisfied, feel like we've done, a great job as a parent, the best that we could do. Yeah. So a little bit about myself. I think Dr. Shamsha has already summed it up, but I founded the brand Connect. I call myself a family 2.0 coach, which helps to enhance your family experience to the next level. We are all leading great lives. We have loving families, great families. How can we take that to the next level to ensure that this sustains the family that we've created, the family that we wish to create, continues to grow and flourish over the years rather than separate, rather than fragment. So that's my job. I'm a medical doctor, a 6-second certified EQ coach, and I've been working in this field for almost 3 years now. I'm on a mission to help 100,000 parents create rock-solid relationships with their kids that last more than a lifetime. So in case you have not followed us on Instagram, these are the handles. Please do, so you'll get regular videos and small tools and tips regarding parenting. Okay, so have a look at this image. It's quite interesting. I love the image, so I put it here. Times have changed. Parenting styles have changed. The way we sit at home, the way we eat at home, the way we interact at home have changed completely. I remember even when I was growing up, there was always the landline concept, which is not, a long time ago. I'm only 36. So maybe 20, 25 years ago, we used to have the landline as a primary mode of calling each other. Kisi ka phone aata tha. So, we were all kind of gathered around and talking. And, it was a place to be together. In only 25 years, we all have our own mini worlds, our mini gizmos, our, digital devices. Even in the same room, we are all in our own virtual worlds, right? Even though mobile has its own advantages, it's made our life so much easier, we can get work done, but it also has certain repercussions, especially on relationships, especially on human connect. Because now we try to connect so much in the virtual world, we're forgetting that as humans, we have a basic need to connect in the physical world, in the real world. Our kids who have been born in this era, they have not seen a world without, touch screen and mobiles and iPads. For them, this is completely normal. For them to go through Instagram and to see what's the new phone out there, what's the new fashion out there is very normal. They don't have to look forward to it. But what's happening with this lifestyle is they're forgetting that they need to feel belonged physically. They need that physical touch, that physical, they need to hear those words instead of just scrolling on a screen and reading. As humans, we have a basic need. That and that physical touch, those words, that love, that is what gives us a sense of belonging. That's what gives us our sense of identity. It gives us a sense of security. So only those kids who have this deep sense of belonging, security, can eventually take risks, can eventually go out there in the world and say that, yes, I'm out here to do something. Otherwise, we're going to keep just searching for this, right? Because this is a basic human need. No matter how much we're connected with the world, even if we have 10,000 friends on Facebook or Instagram, do we have those five people who we can really count on our fingers, who we can call up anytime in the middle of the night, and we know that they're going to be there for us? When I ask this question to people, they really have to think about, do I have those five people? Do I really have those 10 people in my circle who I can feel totally open with, who I know are my complete well-wishers, who are always going to be there for me no matter what? So it's important for us to just give this a little thought, knowing that our current generation is like this, knowing that the lifestyle is like this. But what do we have to do now? We're going to have to change a little bit of the way that we are parenting. We're going to have to maybe amplify our efforts a little bit. And that's what today's session is about. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes just kind of sharing some data with you as to what is really happening right now. Why call these invisible parenting issues? Means we can't see them, but they're happening. Digitization has taken over a lot of our life, which is leading to low connection, low physical connection. We feel less safe living in the world. We feel, even though we know so much more, but we are, at a higher risk. Emotionally, all of us go through a lot of phases of instability, much more than maybe we used to. Loneliness is on the rise. Stress is definitely on the rise because performance expectations are moving farther up. Families are getting smaller. Time that we have to spend just to be with each other has reduced because we have multiple things that have to be done. Our lives are getting busier and busier and busier. This is not only for adults, this is exactly the same for kids. So this is happening. This is the kind of world that we're living in. What is that causing? What are the problems that we see because of that? There is loss of the value of family. Significant drop that family is important to me. Family is an essential part of my life. That's reducing. Communication gap is increasing, which we can all feel. Not enough time spent together is being noticed by people. We're craving for those moments of togetherness, but we're not able to really have enough of it. Lack of understanding, generational differences, these are all increasing as our years are going. And how is this affecting our kids? This kind of world that we're living in, how is it impacting the kids? So research has shown that academic performance is dropping of children who are not being exposed to strong family values, strong family cultures. They have started to have more of a negative outlook towards the world. Loneliness in children is increasing. Anxiety, depression, mental health issues is on the rise. A feeling of I'm not worthy enough. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I'm trying to figure out what's my space in the world is increasing. And that's leading to very low resilience. That kind of urge or that craving to fit in somewhere is leading to peer pressure mounting. So our kids are succumbing to peer pressure much easier than before because they just want to fit in somewhere. They need a group to feel belong to, like I'm a part of something. I have a strong backing. That's leading to health and immunity issues. So are we really ready to bear all these side effects for those who are the closest to our hearts, for our kids, and maybe for their kids? I don't think we're really ready for any of this. We're noticing it, but are we aware that this is actually happening in the world, in every single country of the world? And as a parent, I don't think any of us would really be keen for our kids to even get the slightest impact of this. So what do we have to do now? The question is, ye to ho hi raha hai. This is kind of the world we live in. Now we have to do something in order to set up our kids for an extraordinary life, in order to create a cushion around them so they don't have to go through this, but at the same time, ensure that they're independent, they're resilient, they're able to make the best of decisions. What do we do? So I say you have to play a super active role now. As parents, We have a higher sense of responsibility on us in terms of, I have to be more aware as a parent, what's happening in my child's life, and how can I ensure that he feels belonged, he feels that sense of self-esteem. So a lot of families make certain mistakes. And there is one mistake that I say we can make for generations if we're not aware. Either we could intentionally train our kids, or we could not intentionally train our kids and leave it to, let's see what happens. I am a strong believer of intentionally training because I feel giving a structure to anything makes it work. When we work in an organization, if the organization has a strong structure and value system, we naturally adapt to it. It becomes a part of who I am. The only way that I can fit in the organization is when I kind of, believe in certain values that they believe in, when I believe in the work culture. Similarly, for a family, can I believe in the structure of the family? Is there something that we can do in the family that can give our kids that sense of, yes, I'm a part of this family and I'm such a strong part of the family. I don't need to belong anywhere else because I'm already belong. Now I can actually go out there in the world and do something for myself. I can actually go out and create something new because I'm not searching for belonging anymore. I have that. It's already there in the foundation of where I came from. And I really feel it, from the deepest part of my heart. So, what does it take to raise a really good kid in a digital world? I say dynamic family parenting. So it's not only parenting now, it has to be dynamic. There's motion involved. We have to be active. The whole family is a part of it. That's why family rituals is going to come. What do we really need? We need a vision. We need to know what is the future that I'm planning for my child? What is it that I really see for my child? Then we need values. What are those values which are going to form the pillars for my child's successful future? There's so many values out there, but which few do I really believe in? And do I think are necessary for my child to adhere to live by so that he can have a successful life? So when I create a vision, I'm clear on my values. How do I implement it? There has to be a practical formation for these values, right? That child needs to see it, they need to experience it. Just me believing in it is not enough anymore because my child has so many external influences that they really need to be actively involved. That's why I say energy. So we need to have a vision. We need to have a clear value system that our kids can understand. And then we need to practically do something so our kids can experience that. So I say we need the energy to do it. We need dynamism to do it. Based on my own observation, my own childhood, and a lot of research, these are certain elements that we've identified are necessary in current generation children to have an extraordinary future. We started off with how do we set up our kids, right? What do we need to give them? So this is what we've come up with that today's parents need to focus on. Powerful observation skills. The world is changing. The expectations of from children are changing. The job profiles are changing. Powerful observation skills. We need to be able to observe what's happening. A problem-solving mindset. The problems of tomorrow, we don't even know what's going to come. But can I develop a mindset that, yes, I can solve problems? Can I develop that attitude? A stable mind, stability of the mind. There are so many confusing and conflicting advices out there. How will my child know what to choose and what not to choose? He needs stability of the mind. Ability to connect with people. Every, everything in our world today is based on people, on collaboration. Every project that we do is with somebody else. Can I connect with the other? Do I have a strong character and a sense of discrimination? Am I able to figure out what's right for me and what's not right for me? Do I have high self-esteem? Do I believe in myself? Do I really think I'm here to make a difference? I can really make a difference somewhere. I can do something. An attitude of contribution and faith in goodness. That no matter how much terror there is, no matter, can we just ask them to mute, please? Yeah, okay. No matter how much negative news there is out there, but I still believe that people are good. I still believe that there's something good out there for me. Something is in store for me for tomorrow. So if we can start focusing on these elements in helping our kids grow and nourish, it sets them up for an extraordinary future. We spend so much time in focusing on the academic achievements of our child, on the extracurricular achievements of our child, which is great. We need to do that. But sometimes we get confused and we forget that the core of the child needs to be strong in order for him to face today's reality. The inside of that child has to be very, very strong in order for him to face what's there today and what's going to be there tomorrow. Because times are changing so fast, we don't have the slightest of clue कि 20 साल के बाद क्या होगा, what the world is going to look like. We don't know. But we can definitely prepare our kids in a way that whatever is there to come will come. But do I feel that I'm strong enough to deal with it? Do I feel that I have a strong backing of my own family? I don't need a backing of somebody else. And that gives me the power to go out there and make the right choices, find the right people, associate with the right people, make those friendships, you know, take difficult decisions if required. That starts from home. That starts when my child feels completely belonged and has a space at home. So are we focusing on consciously really building these skills that I've just showed you on the slide in our kids? Are we really giving it time and effort and energy? Or do they just sound good, but kaun karega? Bahut kaam hai already. We have so much on our plate. How much are we supposed to do? That's a question. And we have to make a choice, right? Because we're anyways doing so much for our kids. If we can shift our attention a little bit and we can kind of structure these elements into our parenting, it changed the games. It really gives me as a parent a huge sense of confidence that I don't know what's going to be there tomorrow, but I know that I'm preparing my child in the right way. And I'm not then, just kind of thinking, ki pata nahi kya hoga, kaise hoga. So now how do we do this? How do we consciously focus our effort? One is, the first step is we need clarity. We need to know what are those elements I want to add to my child, to his inner core. How do I strengthen it? So I need to know that. That's where the vision and values comes in. And the second part is the implementation, right? I talked about energy. So we have to implement it via family rituals. Why family? Because as I said, every child needs a space to feel like he can be himself, he's belong. Family is the safest space your child can get in today's environment. It's that safest place that your child can feel that, yeah, I'm like these people. We do this together. This is an anchor for me. So it comes down to family culture. Now I want to spend a minute talking about family rituals. What are rituals? In India, we're lucky to have so many religious rituals, things that we do again and again and again. Every year we celebrate festivals. We have, and every festival has a meaning. So a ritual is any activity done together repeatedly at a specific interval. And it has a meaning. It gives me a sense of, yeah, I believe in this. This is who I am. This is who I stand for. So a ritual does not actually have to be limited to a religious affair. A ritual can be as simple as every night, me and my family, we spend 15 minutes together post dinner and we talk about our day. That is also a ritual if we do it regularly, if that's a commitment that we've made. Every Sunday morning, I go for a walk with my grandfather, and that's fixed, and that's just been like that for years. And then we talk about a lot of things. He shares his wisdom with me. If that is done regularly, that is also a ritual. Every year I go to my native place. That's also a ritual. So, what is this? This is family culture. This is what defines who I am, who I believe who I am. So, we need to create moments of shared space, shared interest, shared values, and shared activities. So, there has to be a space that we are sharing. It is fixed in our calendar. As we have our business meetings fixed, as we have our webinar schedules fixed, as we have, our school picks and drops fixed for our kids. Family rituals need to be structured in a way that it fits into our calendar. This is an important time. We don't want to miss it. So it's very different than just कि हम बैठे हैं खाने के बाद तो चलो बात कर रहे हैं. Versus this is something that we do regularly. We believe in it. It gives us a sense of belonging. It gives me a sense of, yeah, even if I'm in a different country, I don't want to miss that. Something that connects me to that family. So there's a very big difference in the intention behind the ritual. कि हम जो कर रहे हैं उसका purpose क्या है? Are we just doing it as a one-off activity for the sake of it? Or is it becoming so sacred for me that it reminds me of who I am? Family rituals should remind us and our kids of who they are. They need to be structured in a way that there are planned moments of togetherness that happen repeatedly. And what are the benefits of family rituals? Families who actually believe in family rituals, researchers across the world have been doing a lot of studies on this, as Dr. Shamsha rightly said, so many books are now talking about it, because they have shown huge benefits in our kids and their emotional well-being, in their academic performance, their ability to take risk multiplies, their health and immunity increases significantly. They have a huge sense of basic stability. In times of stress, kids who have a strong family background, they don't get shaken very easily, you know. And even if they do get shaken, but when they come home and when they come to that dining table ritual, they find that stability again because they know कि यहाँ पे anchor मुझे मिल जाएगा. This is that space for me to find myself again. And they know it's happening frequently. So, um, they don't have to search for it anymore. It's there. It's a part of their life. It's a family culture for them. So the power of family rituals is actually the power of belonging. The first thing that happens when your child starts to be a part of these family rituals, planned moments of togetherness, is he automatically feels belonged. So now he's not searching for that anymore. He feels that anchoring. So he doesn't need to find that outside anymore. He feels a sense of strength. So he can go out in the world and take risks. He knows that he comes back to the most loving place in the world, that place where people are there for him. They're the well-wishers. So any kind of advice that he needs to take, he can kind of use this as a sounding board. All these things will happen when we have planned moments of togetherness. We need to plan it. Our lives are so busy today. If we don't plan it, things will not happen regularly. We'll start off कि हाँ चलो हमें every Wednesday family meeting करना है. But the next Wednesday something else will come out. And the next Wednesday something else. And then I have to go to dinner for my friends. And then I have to go to a birthday party. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. But as soon as we make it like an official meeting, this is a time that I can't avoid. This is a time that I'm going to rearrange my schedule for, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's 30 minutes, but I'm going to make sure it happens. That's when the magic begins because it becomes a part of my lifestyle. You know how I have breakfast and lunch and dinner and, मुझे भूख लगती है. So I know it's time for lunch. So I'm going to start to miss these rituals. I'm going to start to miss these times because I will understand the value I get from it. Because I need that sense of belonging and identity and strength for me to wake up the next morning and say, okay, I'm ready. I can do so much more. So when we need to set up our kids for the extraordinary, we need to ensure that their inner being is so strong. बाकी तो अपने आप हो ही जाएगा. The world is moving at such a fast rate. Our kids are growing at such a fast rate. They don't even need so much academic overview and things that we must have needed when we were young. They have so many resources at their disposal to perform well. But the inner resource is now missing. So as parents, if we can kind of shift the way we think about parenting into, I need to work on the inner resource. I need to ensure my child feels that he's connected, he's physically connected in the physical world with me and, my spouse or my kids or their family. There, it's very easy for them to then figure out how much should I enter the virtual world, how much not, who should I make a friend, who should I not. All of those things will come naturally. So these are some, rituals that teach different things. How do we teach responsibility? How can we promote more kindness? How can we boost positivity? How can we just develop a sense of fun and happiness in the family? So different rituals are there. I'm not getting into details of what all rituals can be possible because that's a completely different ballgame. Today, I wanted to share more about why it's so important to create certain rituals. एक भी अगर ritual आपका हुआ ना, make sure you follow it. You don't need 100 rituals. We all understand that time is limited. We have multiple commitments. But I think we can take that half an hour out in 1 week. Just fix that and ensure that it happens. After 4 turns, you're going to see that things are changing. It won't take a long time for you to notice the change. Your kids are going to look forward to it. Even if you forget, your kids are going to say, Are, today was this meeting of ours. Are, we had to do brunch today. Because your kids will start to understand how much it's helping them out, how much it's giving them an inner power. These are some things that I recommend based on the elements that I showed earlier to help you develop those observation skills, to help you develop the ability to connect. So these are some rituals that I personally recommend are great to imbibe in our day-to-day life. So I just wanted to take you through this in case you want to pick up anything. So for mindfulness and stability of mind, any kind of meditative practices if we can do with our kids every evening, maybe before going to bed. Because I'm a Hindu, home meditation works, but any kind of meditation can work. For observation skills are supposed to be the number one skill, which is now required for anybody. So there is a 5 4 3 2 1 sensory observation for younger kids. For elder kids, it can be more of a conversation. It's something that focuses on how much did I really see if I'm going into a room? What all details do I see in the room? Uh, I personally am going to be starting this ritual because I really believe in it. Call one person daily to connect. Today in our life, we start calling people only for work. हमें ये काम है तो उससे बात कर लो और वो भी आजकल टेक्स्ट और व्हाट्सएप पे ज्यादा होता है कोई बहुत ही जरूरी काम है तो हम फोन उठाते हैं when have we called somebody just because I wanted to speak to them, just because I want to know a little bit more about them, about their life? Connection and relationships happen only when I call somebody just for the sake of it. Otherwise, so it's an exchange, right? It's some work that's happening. So if we can take out 5 minutes from our life and our kids' life and have them call one person daily, nahi to weekly. Sundays we're going to spend 10 minutes in the morning. We're just going to call somebody up and ask them, how are you doing? What can I do for you? Is there something that I found out about the person and I can contribute? So this is a very, very, very powerful ritual. Problem solving, again, is a very, very important element that our kids need. So when we are sitting at night before our kids sleep, every day they'll have some issue, some problem, some challenge. Instead of giving them the solution, can we make it a habit or a ritual that our kids start to know that, every time I go to my mom with a problem, she's going to first help me brainstorm options so I can figure out what are possible solutions. So I realize that I have the power to do it. I just need to give it, maybe an extra 5 minutes. Nighttime family sessions are very, very, very important. I've personally been experiencing them for years as a child, as a mom. If we can give our kids the comfort of no matter what happened in the whole day, come home, night 10 minutes, 30 minutes, we are there together, where we are completely present with each other. The key is there are no mobiles, there are no TVs, iPads in this space. It's only me and my kids or, our family sitting together. And we are actually present with each other. We are physically connecting, we are emotionally connecting. Even if it's silence, we are still there and we can feel each other's presence. This is a ritual, even though it may seem like we're just sitting together. It's a ritual and it's very powerful. And imbibing an attitude of regularly contributing. Can I find a place to help somebody? Can I see what can I do for the other? Again, it's about people, right? It's about connecting with people, working with people. The more that I can contribute, the more I'm going to feel like I've done something, I've made a difference. That's what we need in our kids. Anyone who feels like they can make a difference typically feels like they have a high self-worth, they have a high self-esteem, they have a space for themselves in the world. So these are just some of the rituals that I personally recommend, and there are many, many, many more out there. You must already be doing some. Think about it in a way that can we make sure that it happens at a frequent interval now, regular, which is fixed, and that's where the magic happens. So as we move to the end of our session today, I wanted to show this to you. I feel this is a very important element just for you guys to think about. But as we create a visual roadmap for our career, as we create a visual roadmap for, our health or our personal goals or our personal hobbies, have we created a visual roadmap for our family's future? Where are we really heading as parents? What are we really moving towards? There's always going to be some gap, right, between what we see and where we are. But have we thought about the gap? Have we found out what are those steps I need to take to bridge the gap? So in case you have not given it a thought, do spend a couple of minutes and try to figure out, do I have a visual roadmap for my family's future? Do I know where I'm heading to? Have I planned it out? And in case you haven't, start thinking on these lines. Because when you want to set up your children for the extraordinary, you need to first know where you want to head. What is extraordinary? What is the meaning of extraordinary for you or for your kids? For everyone, it's different. But what is it for you? And jot it down in a way that you can start to understand. You have clarity, as we talked about. First clarity and then rituals. Only when you know where you're heading can you actually start implementing rituals in the right way. So this brings us to the end of our presentation. I just wanted to share this is the program that I run, Family Skills Training Program, where I work one-to-one with families and parents to help you create these visual roadmaps, to help you identify these rituals, and many, many more tools that we go through. So in case anyone's interested, you can connect with me. And I think the forum is open for any questions, thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Priyanka. It was a wonderful session that you gave. Now, there was something that really, gave me that Zen feeling. One was, of course, anchoring. That is something that is very important, which I even mentioned in the chat box. And a very powerful tool that I felt was, calling somebody every day. I think that is something we all really need to do, take off some time. And this is the same thing we need to teach our children. And meanwhile, I guess you already have some comments like very informative workshop. I have a question. Normally mothers get exhausted by the time the day ends. And we feel drained, burnt out at times. How do you think we can handle that?
So, one is self-care, definitely, because as mothers, a lot of us kind of forget that we need to give some time for our own rejuvenation. Because only when we are energetic and rejuvenated can we give it to our kids. And secondly, it's about how do we think about it? If I think कि अरे एक और काम है यार, रात को बैठना पड़ेगा बच्चों के साथ, अब उनसे पूछना पड़ेगा, so I'm drained. But if I think about it in a way like, wow, this is such a magical moment that we're spending together, and this time is rejuvenating me. I don't need, this time is going to give me that energy because I'm going to feel more connected. I'm going to feel like I'm on the same page. So you'll notice a difference. So one day if you're exhausted and you think about it, अरे यार फिर से करना पड़ेगा. Versus, I think this time is going to be so magical. And you're going to experience the magic when you're actually present there with your kids. So I think that's what the difference would be. And definitely spending a little bit time for your own self in the day so that by the evening you still have some bandwidth left to deal with whatever needs to be done.
Thank you so much. That was really informative. I think somebody is asking for Hitakshi is asking for Instagram, Facebook link. If you could just put there, it will be really nice of you.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I request the others to pose their questions. Hema, would you like to say something?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Priyanka. It was such an informative session, and really, we learn every time. Every time I talk to Priyanka, I learn something. So really, it's been a wonderful session. I know the parents here have also enjoyed the session. Please feel free to ask your questions. It's not only Shamsha and I who have to talk. It's an open session, so feel free to ask your question. Maybe one question I ask Dr. Priyanka is, very often as parents, especially as mothers, you don't give yourself that importance. It's all about family, 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 and you forget yourself. And you mentioned about self-care. So even when I had the conversation with the mom, I said, put your needs, your wishes, give yourself importance. She said, no, I can't, because I've grown up with that feeling that others are more important than me. So what would you say to such a parent?
So I think it's not really about who is important, right? It's about, am I enough to even fulfill the needs of the other person? मतलब मैंने ये सोच लिया कि others are more important, but do I have enough in me so that I'm ready to, fulfill the needs? And if I'm realizing that I'm not, there's a void inside me, how will I, if I'm not complete, how can I help the other person become complete? So, because this is a common mindset in India of, others are more important than me. So that's not really something that I would debate on. It's a personal choice. But I think the thing to be thought about is, do I feel complete enough so that I can share a part of that with somebody else, so that I can contribute to their life, I can, add to their life. But अगर मुझे ही अंदर से void लगता जा रहा है, ultimately I'm going to drain out. So I need to ensure that I feel complete in myself. And then even if I want to spend 24 hours for the others, I mean, I'm not going to feel कि मैं थक गई हूँ, nobody cares about me, because I'm caring about myself.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think that's wonderfully answered. And that is what we all need to learn. There is a question that we have, Dr. Priyanka, that is, It's by Hitakshi. Ma'am, who can we inculcate the values of basic humanity to all organisms?
So I think it was supposed to be how can we inculcate?
Yeah, how can we
Yeah,
inculcate? So basically, she wants to ask how the values could be inculcated.
So again, Hitakshi, family rituals is a powerful way. Once you identify what are those values that you're talking about, suppose kindness is very important for you. So you can design a ritual around kindness where your children are involved in a kind act at a regular interval. Suppose gratitude is very important for you, or suppose working hard is very important for you. Any of these values can actually be converted into family rituals. So the benefit is you're not constantly talking about it all the time. So you're not that helicopter mom, but you are structuring it in a way कि वो अपने आप उसके अंदर आ रहे हैं, because they know कि ये जो ritual है, whatever activity, experience, discussion, anything that's happening, that itself is going to foster the value, which makes much more of an impact than you just constantly telling them कि, you should be hardworking, you should be grateful. If you create a ritual, an activity around it, or some experience, or they have to go out and do something, that will foster the value in itself. So that's why I say family rituals are very powerful, because it eliminates that need to constantly just tell your child, you should do like this and you should do like that. You are making it easier for them to experience it, and वो अपने आप उससे build होता जाएगा.
Yeah, that's lovely. Now we have another question from Dr. Spandan Pate, and he's a physiotherapist. And he asks that, is there any age that we can begin influencing our kids and teaching them to practice these rituals? So do you suggest any age wherein this could begin?
I don't think there's any age. The rituals will change as your kids grow. For a toddler, it'll be more of play-based and fun-based rituals. For a preteen, it'll be a different kind. For a teen, it'll be more of logical thinking, discussing out things. But you can start from even like a 6-month child, because it's about what they're seeing, how they're experiencing the world. You are helping them experience the world in a more positive way, basically. Ritual is what? It's a positive experience you're giving to your child. कोई भी तरीके का. So based on whatever activity you're doing with the child, उसी को आप ritual बना दो. हम खाना ऐसे खाते हैं, and हम इस टाइप की बातें करते हैं खाने के पहले. Even for a 1-year-old child, they'll understand. हम इस टाइप की stories पढ़ते हैं रोज. That's a ritual. अगर रोज हो रहा है तो it's a ritual. So there is no age. You can be as old as you can or as young as you can.
And Dr. Priyanka, there is a second part of his question wherein he says that, the child has a different perception and mindset at every age. So which rituals would you suggest for the younger ones, like for the toddlers or the younger ones? And what would you suggest for the teenagers or beyond that?
So again, for a toddler, it can be as simple as, I go every day and I feed the birds, kya ye jaise jawar and all of that. It can be like that for compassion or for kindness. Or, if you want leadership skills to be implemented in your child, you start reading those stories to your child on a regular basis. The thing is that, am I present with my child? Am I doing it regularly? That is more than enough to create a ritual. For teens, you can definitely go with creating family meetings, having family goals that the teens are then weekly working on. There are lots. Diving into family history, documenting family history. Any of this that reinforces their sense of who I am, what I believe in, what I value. And it's not only me, it's all of us. So that all of us is what's the key here.
Anyone who wants to ask something can please open up. We have a few minutes more. Actually, you've been so clear and so precise, so lucidly. Everything has been explained that I don't think there would be much questions. But there are a lot of people who are thanking you for all the information, the wonderful ritual that you're trying to set into our lives. And I think that's the beauty of it, Dr. Priyanka. Thank you so much for sharing your views, for being with us. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. And it's like in the chat box we have in the comment section that it's an eye-opener session. I think that is what is important. And may the word spread. That is all I would say. We have all the handles that you've provided on Facebook, Instagram, your email, your number. We can get in touch with Dr. Priyanka Tibrewala whenever we want to. And I'm sure she'll be glad to help us. As you see, she's a very vibrant coach. and a very friendly approach is one of the best tools that she has towards parenting and helping us practice these rituals. So thank you so much. Thank you, Hema, for organizing such a session, because you were the one to connect with Dr. Priyanka. And let me tell the audience here that Ms. Hema Vinod is an author. Hema, would you like to talk about your book very quickly? Since I'm sure you're excited about it and you're going to launch it very soon. It's already on Kindle. That is what we saw. And that's awesome. So just a very brief.
Okay, thank you so much, Shamsha. And again, I want to thank Priyanka for taking time off and coming for the session. You know, Sunday morning with family, you've taken that time to come and talk to us. So really, really much appreciated. And I want to thank all of you who have come here, because I know Sunday morning is a very special time, but you've taken the time to come here. It's really well appreciated. I won't take too much time, but as Shamsha requested me, I'll just say that I started my journey of writing my book last year during the lockdown. And this year, now it's been released on Kindle. It's called Parenting Made Simple. And I chose this group, teenagers, because I feel it's a very challenging age group. You know, they have the maximum challenges. There's that's a time they feel they are not understood, or parents don't understand their special problems. So I focused on that group. And sometimes parents tell me, "Oh, my child is not a teenager, so I'll read the book when my child is a teenager." But I feel you have to prepare well in advance for those teenage years. You cannot have a good relationship if you don't work on it right when the child is little. So it's all about preparing for that special age when your child becomes a teenager. So it starts much, much earlier. And I know that Dr. Priyanka has done a great session for us, and we will all try to, you know, inculcate these rituals in our family, so that there will be a change. You know, day after day, we'll be building our families, building the rituals, building the family culture. So I think it all starts right now. We don't have to wait when the children are teenagers, but we started much, much ahead. So thank you all, and I'll hand you over to Shamsha.
So thank you so much, everyone. As it says that it takes a village to raise a child. And I think Dr. Priyanka has rightly explained this, that the village, even if the village is shrinking, we can still take care of the child through these family rituals. And this is one of the very powerful tools that we can use. Thank you so much, Dr. Priyanka, for being with us, for motivating us to be better parents and better
Thank you.
coaches.
Thank you so
Thank you
much for
so
being
much.
here.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye.